Hello everyone and welcome to the 5th show of the semester here at Leatherneck Insider. I'm Nathaniel Rogers.
And I'm Tucker Minton. Another show, another athlete of the week. Levi Meyerhofer has more on this story.
What's up, Leatherneck fans? I'm Levi Meyerhofer here with this week's Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week, Richard Francois. Richard, tell us about your success that you've had this season on the tennis court and how you got your start in tennis.
I mean, I'm very grateful for all those opportunities, and I just try not to focus much on those success. I mean, they're good, but I'm just trying to keep my head in a certain place and just trust and compete and just trust in God's work. And also, I've started playing tennis back in Haiti with my family. We all play tennis, and it's awesome going on the tennis court with my dad and my coaches and everything to just try to get better at this sport.
Yeah, so going off of that, what else drives you to continue your success on the tennis court here at WIU?
I mean, I love the game. I love to compete and just doing all those amazing things. So all this just pushed me to get better every day and every time I step on the court.
And what are some of the goals that you have for the rest of this season for yourself and then for your team as well?
I mean, our goal as a team is to compete every day and learn from our challenges and just try to keep our heads at a certain place and just trust in the process. And mine will be just do stuff step by steps and just trust in God's work and just believe what I'm doing and hopefully in the future and it can all shows.
Yeah, well, good luck the rest of the season. Thank you for meeting with us today. Once again, with this week's Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week, Richard Francois. I'm Levi Meyerhofer with Leatherneck Insider, and this is Hoff, signing off.
Thanks, Levi. Congratulations to Richard Francois. The WIU tennis team is currently on the road. They'll be taking on Milwaukee today at 1 p.m. and will continue their weekend trip taking on Chicago State tomorrow at 2 p.m.
The WIU football team has seen a lot of coaching changes in recent years, with 3 head coaches since 2021. Current head coach Joe Davis, after a 4-8 season, the most for the Leathernecks since 2018, announced his own coaching changes for the 2025 season. The first was the addition of wide receivers coach Isaiah Washington. Davis also announced that offensive coordinator and offensive line coach Brad Wilson would be promoted to assistant head coach. Coach Wilson's offense led the Ohio Valley Conference in 6 statistical categories for the 2024 season, including offensive touchdown and offensive efficiency. The Leathernecks will head to Champaign, Illinois to take on the Fighting Illini for the first game of the 2025 season.
Well, that's all we have for now. When we come back, it's about the diamond and the upset alert.
Not W?
It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say there. Yeah, we've been there.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on? They haven't said it. I'll tell them we're ready to go. We can start.
Hello everyone, I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Leatherneck baseball spent this past weekend in Las Cruces, taking on the New Mexico State Aggies in a 3-game weekend series. The Leathernecks would fall in all 3 contests with scores of 9-1, 10-8, and 9-5. In the 9-1 Game 1 loss, the Leathernecks struggled offensively, only mustering 5 hits and not scoring until the final inning. Max Tripure threw 5 solid innings, but the bullpen struggled and gave up 6 runs the rest of the way. In Game 2, the Leatherneck bats came out hot when Tyler Large gave WIU an early 2-0 lead with a 2-run shot in the first. The Leathernecks would also add 3 runs in the fourth. The Aggies offense would come alive, hitting a couple of homers and a triple in the later innings to eventually secure the victory. In the final game, the WIU offense would again struggle early until scoring 4 runs in the final 2 innings, one of those courtesy of the long ball from Kenneth Perez. But it was too little too late as they'd also dropped Game 3 with a score of 9-5. Tyler Large led the Leathernecks offensively last weekend, hitting .286 with a home run, double, 2 RBIs, and a pair of runs scored. The Leathernecks are in Montgomery, Alabama this weekend, taking on Alabama State in another weekend series.
WIU softball has started their season with a record of 3-9 after going 2-1. On the Velvet Milkman Classic, Leatherneck insider reporter Kobe Blackmond has more with the story.
WIU softball has had a rough start to the season with a record of 3-9. The Leathernecks started their season in the Rosemont Dome tournament and would split those 4 games, getting wins over Detroit Mercy and Butler, and then would take a trip out to Hawaii in the Spring Fling softball tournament, where they would drop all 5 to CSU Bakersfield, Hawaii, Sacramento State, and Utah Tech. The Leathernecks will put the strong waves behind them and will finally get back into the win column against Murray State 4-3 in the Velvet Milkman Classic, but will be shut out day 2 and day 3 by Butler and Murray State. Sophomore outfielder Malia Robinson is leading the team with 18 hits and bringing in 8 runs. And the sophomore infielder Peyton Brown is leading the team in 3 home runs. And on the mound, freshman pitcher Caitlin Green is leading the team with 10 strikeouts on the season for Leatherneck Insider. I'm Kobe Blackmond.
Thanks, Kobe. The Leathernecks will take on Green Bay at the Lindenwood Invite at 1 p.m. today.
Now it is time for the Upset Alert with Caleb Mays. What do you have for this week, Caleb?
Welcome back to another segment of the Upset Alert. As always, I'm Caleb Mays, and today we're going to take a look at a big throwback moment in a massive upset, as well as go over what's panning out to be a very tight race in the bubble. Kicking things off, the Indiana Hoosiers engaged in battle with 13th ranked Purdue at Assembly Hall on February 22nd, a game that saw Mike Woodson go deep into his bag of tricks. Woodson would be seated on the bench in the very same chair that legendary head coach Bobby Knight would send flying onto the court after receiving a technical foul. Woodson would lead his Hoosiers team to a 73-58 victory on the 40th anniversary of the infamous Pharrell, behind 6 players scoring in double figures. The Hoosiers now have 93 wins and one of the most storied college basketball rivalries. Now let's take a look at 4 of the mini power conference teams on the bubble. And oh boy, is this panning out to be yet another tight race as we get into the field of 68 come March. Starting off with Arkansas, the Razorbacks have impressed as of late in SEC play since starting off 1-6 in the conference. The Razorbacks have managed to knock off a pair of ranked opponents in Kentucky and Missouri and have single-digit losses to Alabama, Auburn, and Texas A&M. The team is now 16-11 overall with a real shot to make it in if they just keep winning. BYU now has 2 consecutive wins over ranked teams, knocking off Kansas and Arizona. The Cougars put up 90+ in both contests and find themselves in prime position in the Big 12 to end the season. A 4-7 quad 1 record isn't the prettiest, but BYU controls their own destiny at this point. One of many Big Ten teams on the bubble, Nebraska has a very toss-up case to make it to the big dance. The Huskers' 3 ranked wins against conference opponents look good, but the losses look just as bad. An ugly loss to a quad-free Rutgers team may be enough to keep them out of the field, but they have a big prove-it game still to come against fellow bubble team Ohio State on March 4th. And as insane to think it is, UConn has managed to find themselves on the bubble. The Huskies, who've won back-to-back national titles, find themselves on the outside looking in for the 2025 tourney. The team is 5-4 against Quad 1, but just 4-3 against Quad 2. Bad losses to Dayton and Colorado earlier in the season may be the defining factor for this year's UConn team. A net ranking of 35 does look promising, however, for Dan Hurley's squad, and the team is always capable of making some magic if they find themselves in the field of 68. That's going to be all the time we have for the Upset Alert today. And game by game, the landscape of college basketball is going to change, and we'll find out whose bubble dreams will burst. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Caleb. Last time I was up here, I remember I said UConn was going to be national champions. We still got a lot of time, a lot of basketball left. What do you think, Tucker?
I think Duke has a big chance, especially those big 2 wins against Illinois and Miami. Well, we will return to the show with news on the basketball court. Stay tuned.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Heading to Western Hall, the WIU women's basketball team clinched a spot in the OVC tournament and will face off against UT Martin. My partner Tucker Minton got a chance to speak with head coach J.D. Gravina.
The WIU women's basketball team was able to clinch a spot in the OVC tournament. I was able to catch with Coach J.D. Gravina about clinching a spot.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting scenario to have clinched so early in the year and really known where our seed was going to be really for the last couple of weeks. And so, I think that's kind of a nice mental position to be in because it's like we don't really have much to lose, but we are playing to compete. We're playing to win basketball games. And there's plenty to still motivate us. We want to get playing as good as we can for the conference tournament. We've got senior night. We want to play for those seniors. And, these are just competitive girls. They compete every day in practice even when there's nothing on play.
Next, I asked Coach Gravina about their matchup against UT Martin in the OVC tournament.
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot behind the scenes, kind of subtly. We're working on some things maybe the girls don't really realize we're working on to prepare for UT Martin. We're having conversations as a coaching staff, but we're also trying not to look ahead, so while we're getting our team prepared. Another thing we're doing for our team is trying to get some rest. We want to make sure we're fresh for that conference.
Reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Tucker Minton.
The OVC tournament is set to start on Wednesday, March 5th at Evansville, Indiana. We want to wish the Leathernecks the best of luck.
WIU men's basketball guard Marko Maletic is having a great year in his first season with the Purple and Gold. On February 15th, Maletic set the program record for three-pointers made in a single season with 87 and counting. Leatherneck Insider reporter Marty Doyle got a chance to speak to Maletic about his record-setting year.
Senior guard Marko Maletic is having a stellar year for the Leathernecks, including setting a program record for three-pointers made in a single season. Maletic talks about what that record means to him.
I mean, it means a lot to show for the work I put in. A lot of times you don't get credit for the work you put in, but finally you break a record. That's big. It means a lot. It's just credit for the work you put in. You finally get to show that.
Maletic is also second in the OVC in points per game at 16.4 and second nationally in three-point percentage at 47.4. Maletic attributes these numbers to opportunity.
I think opportunity in sports is everything. You get an opportunity, you take the most of it. Last year, things happened. I didn't get an opportunity to show what I really could do, and then I came here, and opportunity is everything. Like I said, I'm always working. I'm always putting in reps. So to have the opportunity to finally show it, it's a blessing. So I'm grateful that I'm able to show the results for it.
For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Marty Doyle.
Congrats to Marko Maletic on his accomplishment and a great season. The team just wrapped up a disappointing season, missing the conference tournament.
We're not done yet. After the break, we catch up on some national news and check up on All In with Kobe and Caleb. You don't want to miss it.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Welcome back to Salee Hall. It's now time for our national news segment. We'll start by saying goodbye to MLB on ESPN. MLB recently announced that after the 2025 season, ESPN will no longer be broadcasting games, ending a 35-year partnership with ESPN. Commissioner Rob Manfred claims the parting was mutual, but in a report by CNN Sports' Kyle Feldscher, a source at ESPN claimed that the ESPN contract had an opt-out and decided to use it to get away from their $550 million annual contract.
The Four Nations face-off came to a close last Thursday night with Canada winning 3-2 against the USA. In the first period, Nathan MacKinnon scored the first goal of the game to give Canada a 1-0 lead. And then Brady Tkachuk scores to tie the game for the USA. In the second period, Jake Sanderson scores for USA and takes the lead 2-1. Then Sam Bennett ties the game for Canada. Both teams were scoreless in the third period and had to go to overtime. Connor McDavid was able to score the game-winning goal to give Canada the Four Nations face-off title. Nathan MacKinnon was named MVP for the series.
The New York Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner have announced changes to the historical facial hair policy. Here's the statement from Steinbrenner.
This generation, the vast majority of 20s, 30s, into the 40s men in this country have beards. Our new vice president has a beard. Members of Congress have a beard. And the list goes on and on and on in this country and in this world. It is a part of who these younger men are. It's a part of their character. It's a part of their persona. Do I totally relate to that? It's difficult for me. I'm an older guy who's never had a beard in his life. But it's a very important thing to them, and they feel it defines their character.
The rule was started by the late George Steinbrenner back in 1976, winning 7 World Series.
The NASCAR Cup Series finish in the Ambetter Health 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Sunday was one for the history books. The race went into overtime for the second time this year, with Christopher Bell, Carson Hocevar, and Kyle Larson heading for a 3-wide finish until the caution came out on the final lap, giving Christopher Bell his first win of the season.
It's now time for All In with Kobe and Caleb. What do you guys have for us?
Welcome to the 5th segment of All In with Kobe and Caleb. I'm Kobe Blackmon, joined here with my co-host Caleb Flores. And Caleb, we got a new segment. Are you all in or all out? Starting off in the NBA, the Knicks have become a hot topic. They are 3rd in the East, but 0-7 against the Cavs, OKC, and the Boston Celtics. Are you all in or all out with the Knicks?
I'm out on the Knicks. I think going into the postseason is just going to continue that streak. I mean, 0-7 against those top teams, they're not going to be able to get it done. So I'm out on the Knicks.
Yeah, I think a big thing is the topic defensively for the next 22nd as they rank. I just think they got to sure that up. I think Tom Thibodeau can get them in the right spot. But over to the West Coast, the Lakers are 34-21, and they focus turns right over to LeBron James in his 22nd season. Caleb, does LeBron need to win now?
I'm all in on this one. I think the addition of Luka Doncic is going to help. But I think after a Team USA game, LeBron said that he was going to retire soon. So I think he does got to get it done this year because I don't think there's any other year. So
yeah, that Luka and LeBron James chemistry is getting going. LeBron averaging 24 points. But Caleb, as we talk about the NBA still, the All-Star tournament, the one-on-one, do you want to see more? Do you want to see a one-on-one tournament in All-Star?
Yeah, I think since the dunk contest and the three-point contest have kind of fell off, I think adding that 1v1 tournament would kind of bring a different perspective on the All-Star weekend. I think it'd be cool to see players go 1v1, like one-on-one. I think Kyrie and Giannis and Shea, Kevin Durant, I mean, those guys are unguardable. I think seeing them play one-on-one to see who would become the victorious would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of that one as well. I think what Giannis can do, how dominant he is, I think he could take as many championships as he wants with that one. And Caleb, as we take a switch over to NFL free agency, it is upon us, and 2 names being tossed around is Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Who would you say has had the better career?
Oh, 100% Rodgers. He's got 4 MVPs. He's got a Super Bowl MVP over Stafford. Stafford just has 1 ring with the Rams. So 100% Aaron Rodgers, one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever watched in my childhood. So I'm Team Rodgers on this one.
Yeah, as a Bears fan, I definitely do not like Aaron Rodgers, and the last time he's won is in 2011. So, I mean, how really good is his career? But that is going to wrap it up for this segment of All In with Kobe and Caleb. Have a great weekend, Macomb, and make sure you stay all in this week.
Thanks, guys. Well, that's all we have for today. But stay connected with us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Insider WIU. For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Nathaniel Rogers.
And I'm Tucker Minton. See you next week.